people had an air of hurrying somewhere without quite knowing where they were going. Paul Tabor, journalist in Berlin. Adolf Hitler never met Jochebed Jock Heidenstein. He never heard her name or saw her face. She was not presented to him, paraded past him, or brought to his attention in any way. One time, near her house, there were crowds cheering on the streets as a sleek black motor convoy went past. That was as close as Jock ever got to the man who destroyed her childhood. He was one of the most famous figures of the 20th century. She was nothing to him, a nobody in history. Of course, it wasn't history then. It was present tense. Berlin in the 1930s. A city of industry, enterprise, and energy, captured in endless photographs and film footage. Aeroplanes circled to land. Trains steamed into stations. The streets seemed frantic with trams, vans, carts, and cars. On the River Spree, barges shifting heavy loads. On the boulevards, people heading to work, shopping, having a hasty lunch break. Sometimes smiling at the camera, sometimes keeping heads down, eyes on the ground ahead. At night, electric lamps and headlights, concert halls dazzling with talent, cinemas promising adventure and romance. Everywhere confident architecture, everywhere red flags with black swastikas. To find Jock Heidenstein in 1938, your Berlin map would take you away from the centre of political power at the Reichstag and the monolithic ministry buildings. Heading east from the Spree into the Mitte district, perhaps dawdling in front of the marvellous shop window displays on Leipziger Strasse and dodging deliveries in the fashion district around Haus Vogteplatz, there would be a growing awareness of residential blocks among the cafes and shops. Lace curtains at the windows, multiple doorbells in the porches. With the right instructions, you'd find your way to number 83A Linienstrasse and the home of the Heidenstein family. One day in 1938, Jock's mother, Manja Heidenstein, opened the door of 83A and went shopping. It was hardly world-stopping news, but in Jock's quiet history, it was tremendously important. Manja was out buying new clothes. That year, Manja was only 36 years old, more or less. On her marriage registration, her birthday is noted as the 4th of April, 1902. When she completed the forms for the German minority census in May 1939, she'd shed a year, and is listed as born in 1903. Either way, at 36, Manja was young enough to have the energy to take care of her children, but old enough to know her family was under threat. Adolf Hitler, the man who never met the Heidensteins and knew nothing about them, presided over policymakers intent on wrecking their stability. While Manja's children might have been aware of tensions, the parents understood that age-old bigotry was playing out again. The Heidensteins were Jewish. If, by chance, Manja was caught on camera in Berlin of the 1930s, we'd never know it. She'd be one more figure on the street. Just another woman in a tilted hat, long coat, and sensible shoes. There is no one now who would recognize her. No photographs survive of Manja Heidenstein. Even her children found their memories of her dear face eventually grew hazy until they had no recollection of her at all.